what was in that lunch that we had. But we're feeling funny.
Alcohol.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. We doing this?
Welcome.
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 Welcome to the Why Can't We Be Friends podcast. I'm your host, Sallie Dale.
I'm your host, Holly Feltz.
We're so glad you're here.
So glad. Thanks for listening.
And just to remind everyone, if you enjoy this podcast, share it with a friend.
Oh, yes.
Leave a review, 5 stars.
I mean, I know that when I love something, I'm like, Sallie, oh my God, you will never believe what I just had that I loved, and you should have it too. And I think the same applies to a podcast.
If you are literally obsessed
with
this
obsessed.
podcast,
okay,
go ahead and like it.
If you're new here, we don't talk like this all the time. We're just joking.
Yeah, I need everyone to know that I don't.
We don't talk like that.
I make it a point to not use the phrase literally obsessed.
I don't, but that's okay. To each their own.
It bothers me, but
you can figure that out in counseling. Wow. I don't know what brought that out, but it came out.
Okay. Holly Feltz. Mm-hmm. I realized yesterday that it was just a normal day.
Right.
I realized that. And I realized that.
You realized, what else have you realized that you realized?
It had been 10 years since Andrew proposed to me. It was my 10-year engage-anniversary. And you got engaged almost on the same day, didn't we?
Let me tell you something right now.
Did you get engaged 10 years? No, not 10 years.
Today. January 20th, 2015. Wow. Sorry, I yelled.
If you are listening to this podcast, though, you're probably listening to it not in January. So we just dated
just know that the day
but
that we're recording this, we are having a moment.
I could not believe, I could believe it.
I can't believe it.
But it just hadn't dawned on me that, wow, we're hitting the 10-year engage-anniversary.
5:56 p.m.
Wow. At least you have a photo.
Here's a photo.
I don't have any photos. I don't even think I had an Instagram, so I don't have any photos on Instagram.
I'm sorry.
I might have one on Facebook, but there's no video.
I'll look into that.
There's nothing. I think Andrew might have a photo of me holding my ring up.
You had to do it.
Yeah. But there's no documentation of it other than that.
So it was not a wedding anniversary. It was your engagement anniversary. Mm-hmm. Did Andrew remember this, or was this a solo remembrance?
Well, I hadn't remembered either, and then I texted him, and then he said, I remembered it as soon as you text me.
Wait, so how did you remember?
I was looking, because George's month anniversary is the 20th. His birthday is May 20th.
There's a lot of anniversaries so far.
I was checking the date because George was going to be 8 months old.
Oh,
and I was seeing, I'm like, is it today the 20th? And then I saw it was the 19th, and I realized, oh yeah, that's when we got engaged. And I hadn't even thought of it.
Wow.
I know. I was going to let it go by without
10
even
years
celebrating.
ago.
It's kind of crazy because when we got married, my siblings had been married for 12 and 13 years, which felt...
You're the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
Okay.
And all of them have been married between 12 and 13 years at the time that we got married. And so it just they seemed ancient to me. And now I'm here.
You made it.
Where I'm going to be married for 10 years.
Wow.
This April.
How long was your engagement?
We got engaged January 19th and married April 20th. So 3 months.
Oh, you got me beat. We got married in June. So we did January to June 5th.
Listen, here's my advice. When you get engaged, well, you might not have this advice because you're a wedding. You benefit from a long engagement and people booking you.
I do. I'm a wedding photographer.
But just get married. You don't need to be engaged for years.
Make your plans. Take your time. No, I think it's a situation, which also goes along with what we're going to be talking about today, but we'll save some of that for later. I think for those who get married young, or if you get married older, I think it's to each their own situation. So if you're going to have a short engagement, there's probably a fair reason. For us, we didn't have anything else to wait on. We had all the vendors that we needed. We had the place, had the ring. I mean, we were like, what's the point of waiting?
Yeah. Stop hitting the microphone.
I'm a hands talker, and this is a challenge. I keep hitting my microphone. I'm going to do better.
I ran into someone yesterday that I hadn't seen in a long time, and I was asking her how everything was going, and her daughter was getting married, and I said, or she said, and she's only 21, which I was 19 when I got married. Mm-hmm. So I told her that I got married young, and I said it's simultaneously been a challenge and also the best thing that we could have done, which is to get married young and grow together. But nowadays, getting married, before you're in your late 20s in some parts of the country is unheard of.
Right.
It's crazy.
I was 20 years old when we got married. Micah was 22.
Yeah, Andrew was 22.
Yeah, and I think for us in that, because, okay, let me back up. If a random 20-year-old was like, do you think I should get married?
Yeah.
My answer is no.
Yeah.
I don't think you should get married. For Micah and I personally, we had started dating. I was only 16 when we started dating. So we had already been together for about 4, almost 5 years.
So he was 18 when you started dating?
Yes.
So he was dating, you were underage.
I was 16.
So you could have been,
No.
he could have been prosecuted
No.
for dating a minor.
No.
I don't know.
No. Either way, we were very young. And so to have already spent almost 5 years of our lives together, it was, why would we prolong wait another 5 to 7 years and wait until that point to get married? We were both pretty secure and confident in what we wanted to do or had an idea of what we wanted to do. And so it just, for us, I think felt like, yeah, we're getting married. Let's do it.
Did you feel like Micah was the one? Were you like, this is the one?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm still wondering. No, I'm kidding. I did, but I also think it was beneficial that he maybe was a couple years older than me, and we weren't in the same boat on every single thing. I was in my senior year of high school while he was starting college. And so there was that different worlds thing to where we still were kind of doing our own thing and we weren't each other's entire world. We still had things to do and places to grow to where it wasn't this young love that we were all in on everything that each other was doing. We were spending every waking moment together. We weren't, in school together. It wasn't so much that we were, I don't know, just
if you can see Holly's hands right now,
they're
or if
moving.
You can't see, she's kind of clenching two fists to symbolize the bringing of something together. For those of you that are not watching the YouTube, let me give you an idea of what she's doing with her hands right now.
I can't not talk with my hands. I'm doing it even to tell you. Just understand.
Imagine she's got 2 grapefruits in her hands and she's squeezing them. That's what she's doing.
Yeah. Just what about you? Let's leave me alone.
Andrew and I started dating in high school. Well, I was in high school and he was 20.
What? You're going to come at me for 18 to 16 and you were with a 20-year-old?
I'm trying to remember. Maybe he was 19. No,
Either
he was
way,
20.
He wasn't in school with you.
He did not officially date me until I turned 18, which was the day after I graduated high school. So
a lot of celebration.
Interested, yeah. High school, you're 18. We started dating, and Andrew is super fun. But our first date,
I love him. But
our first date, I do not like being made the center of attention unless I am in control of it.
Yes.
Or I can get embarrassed easily. I can get embarrassed for other people very easily.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It makes me really uncomfortable. Like talent shows are just real hard for me to watch because I'm so embarrassed or nervous.
Yes.
For the people performing. So we went to a museum. We went to the Philbrook Museum in Tulsa, and I had never been, or maybe, I had been with another guy. Anyway.
Wow. We'll save that for
No, I hadn't. It was my first time. It doesn't matter. We are walking around, and Andrew grabbed my hand, which was like he took initiative and grabbed my hand.
Wait, were you dating already?
We were dating.
Oh, man.
We were
Okay.
dating, but it was new. It was very fresh. But it was like
Okay.
our first date out and about
Yes.
somewhere. And we go outside. They have beautiful gardens at the Philbrook, and they had this hedge that's about maybe a foot, between a 1 foot and 2 feet tall. It's like a short hedge that zigzags down the back patio. And I made a comment, oh, it's like a maze, a hedge maze, but it's for babies because it's so short. And Andrew proceeds to get on the ground at the Philbrook and pretend to crawl like a baby on his stomach. And there's a gardener watching us.
This is the most Andrew
Yes.
story.
And I'm standing there thinking, oh my gosh, get up, get up, get up. You were embarrassing me. The best part about this is that he does not remember this at all.
Of course.
And it has scarred me for life. Like, I can't bring you anywhere. He did stuff like that, and I'll tell him, and he goes, I stand by that decision. And
He's
I
like,
go,
that's comedy.
I go, you have no idea how close you were to being dumped right there on the spot, because I was so embarrassed.
So it's funny that you mentioned him grabbing your hand, because when I think back to how did Micah and I even begin our relationship?
Blossom.
So he was my best friend's brother. And again, I was only 16. So I remember we had gone to Oklahoma City because that's where he was graduating. And after his graduation, we were driving back to town, which was about an hour drive back home. And Micah insisted that I sit in the front seat and that his sister, April, sit in the back seat. He insisted. And I thought, all right. So, okay, sure, I'll have shotgun always. Who doesn't want the front seat? So took the front seat, and mind you, up to this point, Micah was talking with another girl, okay? He's not in my head on the market. And also at the back of my head, this is my best friend's brother. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sitting here thinking, here's me and Micah in the front of the car. So we're driving back. This makes me laugh. We're driving back home. About halfway through the drive, April falls asleep in the back. And Micah just reaches over and grabs my hand just to hold it. Again, no former history of, hey, I like you.
It's kind of out of the blue.
It kind of was.
He could have been shut down, and you could have gone, what are you doing?
And I still to this day, sometimes I'm like, remember when you held my hand? What if I would have turned you away? He's like, oh, what if? Like, we have a child together. We've been married for almost 7 years now. And he was like, I just thought, I'm shooting my shot. Here we go. If she pulls away, I'll know that she doesn't like me. And it's so Micah at the same time to think, like, instead of having an uncomfortable conversation, I'm just going to try this out. And he did. And I held his hand. And I do remember in the car while holding his hand, getting out my phone and texting a friend saying, I'm holding hands with Micah right now. And that was
so romantic.
That was the beginning of, well, I guess that Micah likes me.
Tell the audience, Holly.
Okay.
What happened on the day that you gave Micah, or you guys shared your first kiss?
No. Why did you do this to me?
Because I think this is so funny.
I had 2 first kisses in one day, okay?
On the same day that you kissed your husband.
He wasn't, whoa. He was, no. Hold on.
Does Micah, hold on.
What?
Does Micah know this story?
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
I don't want to just be revealing some deep,
the first thing that we need to talk
him
about is that he was not my husband.
Well, he would be your husband.
Yes, but I'm saying in the moment, I don't want someone to listen and be like, holy kissed 2 men when she was married.
To just be scrolling through the podcast, and this is the only thing they hear.
That's all they hear, myth busted. Okay, so anyways, I had 2 first kiss in the same day with 2 different guys. That sounds terrible. No, listen.
It's no big deal, you guys.
Listen, guys. When you're a very eligible
bachelorette
young teen. No, it was the last day of school, and I remember I had a really close guy friend, and we were saying goodbye, and he leaned in to kiss me, and I pushed him off, and I said, whoa, what the heck? Like, we're friends. He was like, I just was trying that. And I was like, well, I don't like you. I like someone else. I wasn't dating Micah at the time. We were just like, I don't like you. You know, we had held hands. I mean, it was very serious. And then later that night, Micah also kissed me, and I did not reveal this to him until, like, it's probably been in the last 5 years. He found out about it.
Hey, remember when you kissed me the first time?
Okay.
I was also locking lips with some other guy. Not because I wanted to.
No, I didn't choose this life. Also, this is a side note, but it's also important that Micah has made it a point to always talk about this guy's name and say that this is his arch nemesis. It's a joke. And last year or the year before that for Christmas, Micah's dad gifted us this sweet little book that is one of those personalized books that you see them in Facebook and Instagram.
I probably
ads.
ordered the book from Instagram.
But you customize it to the family. So it's like an Everly and Micah book. And
we have a Dot and Andrew book.
Oh,
it's probably the same one.
It probably is the same one. So the author's name, that's all I'm going to leave it at, is the exact same name of the guy who kissed me, the same name. That Micah
is it
did.
him or just coincidental?
It's not him. It's just coincidental,
so
which is
he's writing
amazing.
A story about.
Yes, it's amazing. I love when things like that happen. So, yeah, I'm glad that I got to share that with everybody.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm just here to put you on the spot.
Oh, good. Well, in that case, let's put you back on the spot.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
I don't know. I'm just kidding. Like, well, crap. No, okay. So you and Andrew, you obviously made it through all the embarrassing moments.
I did break up with him once.
Dun, dun,
I'll
dun.
tell you what happened. He put a cricket in his mouth at a birthday party, and I said,
Ew.
"Yeah." He stands by. He says it was funny.
I'm sure that he stands, but also
It was for my nephew.
There's a place down in Tulsa you can go get cricket tacos or cricket guacamole or
Crickets
something.
shouldn't be in your mouth. And
I
he did it,
don't
and I
want
looked
them.
at him, and I thought,
You thought,
ugh, I'm going to throw up. So I remember we went to his car, and I said, "It's not you." I did the whole, "It's not you, it's me." And I remember him sitting
you
there.
did it at the party.
I couldn't wait another second. I had to break up with him. I had kind of been thinking about it all day.
Why? What brought this on?
Because Andrew really liked me, and I knew he really
came on
liked
too
me.
strong.
He didn't come on too strong, but I just wasn't. I was 19. I just wasn't, or no, I was 18. I just wasn't sure that I liked him as much as he liked me. And I was thinking, I'm 18. Do I want to limit myself to just this person?
So you said, is this it?
Is this it? And then he put a cricket in his mouth, and I said, I don't think this is it. I think this is kind of gross. And then I saw him everywhere. We worked at the same place. So it was miserable to be broken up because he was everywhere.
So it was easier to be together.
So we got back together. But after some time, and I did go on a date to Philbrook with a different guy during the time that we were.
Ooh. So you were like, I'm going to see.
I was
I'm
gonna
going to see what else is out there.
But the other guy was he was not, I don't know if he was as tall as me. It was real close.
Ooh.
And his voice was a little high when I met him in person. And so he was very cute.
Did
I
you
stand by, he was very cute.
Did you have a Andrew is the one?
I remember, this is so funny, and I've told Andrew this. I remember praying and asking God, because I was just like, we were getting to the point where we're either going to get married or we need to break up and something needs to happen. And we're both in Tulsa. We both work at the same place. And I think that if we were going to break up, like one of us would need to go do something different and like remove ourselves from the situation.
I
if we
have
were
a very
gonna break
important
up.
question.
Yeah.
Did you ever use, or would you have used, God told me not to be with you?
Maybe.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't. But I remember praying and just going like, God, I don't know. Is Andrew the one? Like, am I supposed to marry him? And this is how I think I know it was God. It was, I just felt like it's up to you. It wasn't like a thus saith the Lord, this is the one. But I kind of felt like if you like Andrew, if you love being around
Try
him.
it out.
Yeah. You'll have a great marriage.
Yes.
Like you can have a great marriage with this guy. And if you decide that this isn't the guy, then you will find somebody else and you can have, and it'll be fine.
He's like, Sally, look in the mirror.
yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why God's dealing out cards and talks like this.
I don't know, but that's kind of the conclusion that I came to. Maybe it wasn't God, but I just thought.
Fair enough.
I think that Andrew and I could have a great marriage, and if
you've made it thus far,
and we've made it 10 years, and we've got almost 10 years. We have 2 children together, so I'd say it's pretty serious.
You say a great marriage. Is this a great marriage without having a quarrel every now and then?
I think that people who don't fight or bicker. I mean, I'm not saying knock down, drag out fights, but little disagreements. I tend to question who's not being real here.
I completely agree.
Andrew and I will bicker. For instance,
oh no,
this is the dumbest thing. So in our living room, we have a little side table on the left side of the couch.
Okay.
And so it's the side that's closest to the TV. So it's the preferred spot to sit. Because if you have a drink, there's a side table right there.
We have this.
So every time when we have, usually after we put the kids to bed, we'll get like a little snack and sit down and watch something. I will sit at that left side. And I won't have a drink, but I might have like a little snack.
Little snacky snack.
Every time, without fail, Andrew will come up to me and go, "Can I sit there? I have a drink." And I go, "Is that the qualification for getting to sit in this spot? Is that you have a drink? Because I can go get a drink from the fridge right now." And so every time, like every night, this happens. Because I get cozy there, and then I have to scoot over, and he goes, "I can sit there, I guess, but I just have a drink. I don't know where you want me to put it."
No.
So last night, or the other night, he said, "You do this every evening. You sit here, you know that I have a drink. Just scoot over. Just scoot over and don't say anything. Don't make a big deal about it." And I scooted over because I don't want him to spill his drink on the couch. And then I started laughing because I thought, what a ridiculous thing that we argue about every time you come to sit down on the couch. I know that you're going to want to sit here, and yet I still continue to plant myself here.
Could we not maybe get another side table at the opposite end of the couch?
Well, that's so far. I like to sit next to him. That would be a whole cushion, and there's no room on that side.
You guys are cuddly sitters.
I sit very close.
Oh, see, if I do that, my kids normally like, can you scoot over?
Do you also, do you like when you're in bed, do you touch at all? Like, do your feet touch?
I am 1,000 degrees. My body heat is outrageous. And it's not like I'm like sweaty or gross. My skin gets very hot. And so I will normally be like, "Do you want to lay next to me?" My kid, that's how I talk in the privacy of my own home.
That's your bedroom voice. That's what gets him. Hey, Micah, do you want to live next to me?
And he's always like, "I love you, but your skin is so hot." And then he's really hot natured. And so it is hot in there.
You guys need like a cooling sheet.
We need a cooling mattress.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we're cuddly, but
Andrew and I like to touch feet or like intertwine our legs.
I don't like that.
I get cold, and I get so cold. Well, I have them, one thing I won't do, this crosses a line. I will not face the same direction as him because I am hyper aware, even in sleep, if someone is breathing on me. Holly?
I hit the microphone.
I hate someone breathing in my direction. So
okay,
I will our faces will never, ever face each other on the pillow.
Do you want to know why?
That's disgusting, and I will not do it.
Do you want to know why our faces will never face each other?
Why?
Because I am hyper aware of if somebody was going to break into my house, they cannot get me from a blind spot. You look this way, I'll look this way.
Holly sleeps with a baseball bat next to her nightstand.
Yeah, try me. Try me is all I'm saying.
Well, we already know you gave your sister a black eye, so.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not afraid to rough someone up.
A baseball bat is such a personal defense weapon. I mean, it's really violent. You have to get really close and also beat the heck out of somebody.
We also have a sword. These are our weapons of choice, and Don't challenge us is all I'm saying.
You're hand-to-hand combat people.
I think, I'm not 100% sure on what or which one, but I think that it's like an authentic Lord of the Rings sword. So I don't know if you want to cross us is all I'm saying.
And you wear your ring and you go invisible and you got the sword
and I turn into Gollum at night and I take my makeup off. Anyways, okay, so you guys have your little side table one. Is that that's obviously an ongoing fight
every evening?
Every evening, that's beautiful.
And I just go, fine, I'll get a drink. Like maybe tonight I'll get a drink. And
I want you to get a drink tonight.
And he'll say, I want to sit there. And I'll go, I've got a drink.
I want you to just look at him and be like,
spill this all over me. Yeah, I will spill this all over me if I sit anywhere other than this spot right here.
Oh my goodness.
And that's why I was laughing, because he was getting really worked up because it's the same conversation. And I just had to laugh. I go, this is so stupid. This is one of the dumbest things that we have argued about is who gets to sit on this side of the couch. Well, it's like siblings. Mom, he's sitting on this side of the couch.
Sometimes it would be helpful to have not my mom or his mom, but to have a mom in the room to go, Mom. That's how marriage feels after a while. Okay, if that is one of your dumbest ones, do you have a dumbest fight?
I do have a dumbest fight.
Oh, do tell.
I am like 4 months postpartum with Dot. So she's a little itty bitty tiny baby.
Little tiny Dot.
And I think she was going through, 4 month, I don't know if I really did, but like a 4-month sleep regression. Mm-hmm. And her big thing was she would wake up, her pacifier would fall out of her mouth. Mm-hmm. She couldn't put it back in. And so we had to go in there a bajillion times a night. And we bought like 10 passies.
Yes.
And put them all over her bed, thinking surely she'll be able to reach one, and she couldn't. So one night we're sitting on the couch, and there had been something else that had happened earlier in the week that Andrew had been upset with me about something, and so it had to do with parenting. And so I was kind of already feeling a little bit like, you think I'm an inadequate parent. So
that's a good thing to harbor.
It's really good to harbor, to not talk about that and just let it linger.
Oh, yeah.
So we're sitting on the couch. She starts crying. He pulls up the baby monitor. I see she's looking for her passy. Mm-hmm. So I go in there, and it had fallen on the floor behind her crib. I reached down, grabbed the passy. I didn't wipe it off because it's carpet. I just was tired. I live there. And I just give it back to her. And I'm giving it back to her. Is that
where you went wrong?
Yeah. He comes in the room.
Oh.
I think he came in the room. This might have been another time, a similar fight. Or I go back and he's like, hey, we wipe off passies.
I don't know how you were raised, but in this house.
And I felt like you're watching me on the monitor and correcting me. And he goes, it's on. He goes, there's I think he was in the room at this point. There's germs. He took a passy and rubbed it on his foot. And he goes, here, give this to her.
Ew.
And I was like, no. And he goes, why not? It's the same thing. And I was like, it's not the same thing. His argument, because if he listens to this, he's going to go, no, that is not what happened. We had a dog, Lola Maltese, and she would, I call it butt surfing, where dogs would sit on their butt and like
bum shuffle.
A bum shuffle. They'd drag their butt, across the floor. And she would do that underneath Dot's crib. And so his thinking was, our dog rubs her nasty butt. But I was just thinking, it was there for like a second. I'm so tired.
Yeah, you're a new parent. You're tired.
I'm so tired. So I think that night, it got to the point where he was in there, because I think he came in there, and I'm yelling. I think I pushed him.
Oh, we're a violent fighter.
I think I shoved him, and he goes, we do not push this.
You learned so many household lessons in this one night.
We do not get violent.
We don't pick up passies.
I was so mad. I was just really mad. And I think I told him, like, leave. I don't even want you to be in this house anymore. Leave. And I think the next morning was like Mountain Men or something. He had to go like a small group. And so he left and it was just me and Dot at home. And I'm, wallowing in the, oh my gosh, what did I do?
Yes.
I acted like a child. I shoved my husband in my daughter's nursery.
I'm a monster.
I'm a monster. And we forgave. And now, in hindsight, we have laughed about that because he, I think, realizes, okay, especially with having a second child. All right, there are things that you will let go with your second child that with your first, you were like, I would never do that. But also realizing that fight was not what that fight was about. It
never is.
It never is. And so it was like, that was the straw that broke the camel's back of going, you think I'm an inadequate parent, that I don't know what I'm doing. You think I'm going to hurt our daughter or put something in her mouth that has germs. Anyway, we're doing great now, but
okay.
Anytime,
so you got that worked
we got
out.
It over, but anytime, sometimes we'll just stop and laugh about, we had a knockdown, drag out over a pacifier falling on the floor.
That is amazing.
Yeah. I'm sure you've never had an irrational argument with Micah.
No, honestly, we get asked a lot to travel around
and speak
the world and speak about how to have a seamless marriage and to be perfect for each other. Micah and I are known for bickering.
Known like your neighbors now?
Not in
have you had a fight outside on your lawn?
No, we have not. There is times we're vocal people and we get vocal in our arguments. And I'm not going to push him. I mean, dear God. But there are times where we laugh and go, do you think our neighbors hear us and wonder if we're okay? But we really are. We're just both very passionate people. And so we have to really let you know what's going on in our feelings. But so this takes me back to, it had to have been our first year of marriage, if not first or second year. And I will say, I don't feel as though our first year was what everyone warned us about. I feel like everyone when you're getting married, if you can make it through that first year, you can make it through anything.
Yeah, talk to me like year 8 or 9.
Well, but honestly, I'm thinking year 3 or 4 after you start really getting in there and have like we're truly dealing with finance.
Yeah.
Like the real, you're not in the beginnings anymore.
Yes.
You're in the thick of, when you're in the trenches. No. But this was in our first or second year. I remember we were on our way over to Micah's parents' house and it was the holiday season. And what is better around the holiday season than some Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes? Oh my God.
I can think of a lot of things better than that, but
They're not.
You continue your story.
They're not better than that. I love Christmas tree cakes, okay? Micah loves them, but I love them, okay? So we're driving to Micah's parents' house, and we had purchased a few boxes to take over. There's only 5 in a box. Who puts 5 in a box? That's not even. You need an even number of cakes to distribute.
Yeah, half a dozen at least.
At least.
Just one more.
Literally one more. Anyways, had a few boxes, took them over to his parents' house, had a great evening. And then the end of the evening came, and I remember we were going to go home, and Micah had said, well, we're taking all of these boxes home. And I said, no, we're not. We do not need to take all these boxes home because we're just going to sit and eat
Christmas tree
all
cakes.
of the boxes. Yeah. And we already eat a lot of Christmas tree cakes. So let's leave some of them here, and then we'll take some. We can take 1 box home. I think I told him.
You can have 1.
Exactly. So it gets worse because then his sister chimes in. She's like, yeah, you don't need to take all those cakes home. His mom's like, just leave some here. We'll have some too. And Mike is like, if I want to take the cakes home, I'm taking the cakes home. I bought the cakes.
He's like the Costanzas on Seinfeld when they give that marble rye to her just parent, and then they don't eat it, so he takes it back.
So what's funny
is literally Frank Costanza.
Did you just say literally?
I did say.
But
I mean it in this instance.
I understand. We've actually been watching Seinfeld a lot right now, and he said, I don't want to be George, but I think I'm George. I said, I think you are too. Anyways, back to cakes. So it escalated quickly, is all I'm going to say. And we began to play keep away from Micah with a box of Christmas tree cakes.
Yes.
Started out just harmless and playful fun. Micah was like, all right, give me the box. And I was like, no, I said we're not taking them. And I would like throw them over his shoulder. And then his mom's in on it and his sister's in on it. It's basically how Micah would voice this is all the women in his life were attacking him and shaming him. And it just kept going. And I think I ended up like either smashing a box or throwing the box down and was like, we're not taking them. Let's go. And he kind of played it off like he wasn't mad.
And then you got in the car.
Tell you, no. When I tell you the moment that I closed their door and stepped outside, I thought, what have I done? Micah.
Oh, gosh.
Because we were like walking through the garage and Micah was like, don't you ever. Don't you ever treat me like that ever again. I was like, treat you like what?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Just say what you need to say. I don't know. And we had about a 20 to 30 minute drive home. And it was just, there was swerving on the road.
Oh my God.
Micah threatened to pull the car over and get out and walk out. And I was like, you're crazy. I mean, it was, when I play it in my head, I wish I could just make a short film of how dramatic. I mean, we're talking like a daytime soap opera acting quality out of both of us on the dramatics of just what just happened over Christmas tree cakes. But really, again, it's never what it really seems. About? It was really going under. He was under high stress at work.
Yeah.
We had been kind of like passing ships because he was at like working late hours. And I mean, it's, again, we were young marrieds. We're trying to figure this out. And so there was definitely underlying stress, but we always pin it back to, man, our biggest fight in our marriage was over Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes.
Little Debbie was the woman that came between you.
She was, but from that moment on, we have shared the story with like close friends, and every single year at Christmas time, we have a group of friends who gift us 2 boxes of Christmas tree cakes, and they say, this is to keep the peace in your home. And so every year at Christmas, we always get like, I'm talking upwards of 10 to 12 boxes of Christmas tree cakes.
From people?
From our families, from friends. And they're like, we know, we want to keep the peace in your home. I know that
because I've heard this story before. Every time I see Christmas tree cakes at the store, I think, I wonder if I should get Micah and Holly.
See, it's a real thing. Yeah. And some people who don't know that just think that we really like to eat a lot of cakes, which maybe there's a little truth there.
It's just a good reminder.
But
it's
also, it's more out of, it's a really funny story that we have. And it's just now, hopefully you'll think of us and maybe you'll send us some Christmas tree cakes come this next holiday season.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you can't, when you're first married, maybe it's more when you get married young, but you just can't help but have dumb arguments like that. And I was thinking about yesterday when Andrew was coming home and I'm making dinner and we've got 2 kids now and just thinking about how different we both are. Mm-hmm. And I hear a lot of people when they split up, they're like, well, we just grew into 2 different people. Mm-hmm. And I think, well, thank God Andrew and I are not the same people we were when we got married because we were idiots.
Right.
We have grown into different people. But we've also grown together and have had a lot of growing up to do. And I know I can say without shadow of a doubt that I would not be who I am without Andrew helping me grow. Like I wouldn't be, I don't know what I would be without him. But truly, there's no single person who's had a greater influence on me than my spouse.
Until now.
Until Holly. But I'm thankful that I've had through my formative 20s. I wasn't out, I don't know, making stupid decisions. I mean, I still made dumb decisions, but
right.
They were.
We all do.
Yeah, but I was making stupid decisions with Andrew by my side.
Yes.
So I'm thankful when people ask me, like, would you recommend? I'm like, well, I wouldn't recommend the average 19-year-old get married.
No.
But I also think it can be really wonderful. And,
yes.
And it can be a really good thing.
I would also agree because having been 16 and starting a relationship, I do remember the fact that he was a little bit older than me, my mom setting me down and saying, I don't want you getting serious with this boy.
My dad sat me down and said, you know what 21-year-old boys want? I'm serious. We had that conversation. I wanted to crawl out of my skin.
Yes.
It's like, don't talk to me about this, Dad.
Yes. And so my mom, I think my mom was aware from the start of just meeting Micah and seeing our interactions around each other that this did have the potential to turn into a serious relationship. But I think it was speaking for her, and my assumptions would probably be seeing your daughter realize that she's with someone who has the potential to be around for a while. And I'm sure that's a whoa, like slow down, which valid. But the big thing is that Micah was going to move to Australia for a year right after we started dating. And that was actually our first year of dating, was long distance, while he was literally on the other side of the world. And I was just here going through my senior year of high school. And I remember we both had a talk, like probably the night before he left, about what this looked like and what we were kind of expecting out of each other, because we both recognized that we had a lot of growing up to do, but we also knew that we really, really did love each other, but we didn't know what the future looked like. And so I remember the night before he left having a talk and saying, okay, I don't want you to feel like you have to live your life over there according to me being back home, and then vice versa. Like, I want you to take opportunities, like whatever.
Sleep with that girl.
No, not relationally. But if there was a job opportunity for him, or with me still having, graduation ahead and then figuring out what I wanted to step into. I mean, we had, for being young, I would say that's a very mature conversation of like, we're going to try to do long distance, but if it doesn't work out, we've kind of like, we had a good run and like, I'm okay with that. And I love you, but we'll just see what happens. And going into that, I don't think either of us realized how we did say that, but we also were like, but I want to be with you. Yeah. But that I do want you to come back home, and I do want to be together. Yeah. And I would say that's probably one of my favorite things about having found Micah so young, was that we got to experience really pivotal moments of our life together. And we don't have a ton of memories of, oh, well, let me tell you about the time, because 9 times out of 10, he was probably there, or we were together sharing that.
You weren't really building 2 separate lives and then merging them when you got married.
Right.
But really starting with one life.
And I have a handful of friends who still aren't married and are looking for someone. And then I also see the beauty of, wow, look at all of the experiences and things that you get to learn thus far in your life. And then kind of you, in a beautiful sense, get to meet each other and share, this is who I am, these are experiences I've had, and now let's go on something together. So I think I see on both sides of maybe someone who didn't meet someone so young, how there's like
absolutely,
a really awesome story to be had within that. But then speaking for myself and my, did you regret getting married so young? Absolutely not. Like, I love our life. And I also feel like we got to get out a lot of the foolish fights. Not to say that we still don't have our fair share of silly disagreements, like a side table or a spot on the couch. But those are not make or break arguments for our marriage. And I feel like the things that we argue about now are actually a little more sound on, if we're talking about the house or finances or, like bigger things than just, you really like hurt my feelings and I can't talk to you anymore. And you put a cricket in your mouth and I'm breaking up with you.
And I still think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. But we kind of got all of that out when we were younger. That doesn't mean we're fully mature now, but we're getting somewhere.
It's really amazing when you think about it, that you're committing to live with one person, all of their little things that annoy you.
Oh my gosh.
But also I have to keep in mind, because I have a tendency to think about, well, these things really annoy me about Andrew. Nothing I do annoys him.
I'm what
perfect.
An honor to live with me.
Yeah. And going, well, he's annoyed by things that I do.
Right.
We both are. And just going, okay, I'm going to get over that. And I'm going to, if it really bugs him, I can defer and change, like modify something. Like I can 100% sit in the middle of the couch instead of on the left side.
Right.
If that is, if it matters to you to have your drink right there, it doesn't really matter to me. I think my, early on in marriage, we had I don't know if it was like a counselor. Well, oh no, it was a family friend told me. She said, whoever cares about it more should be the one to do it. She was talking about taking out the trash. She was saying, I would just nag my husband, like, take out the trash, take out the trash. And then it dawned on her. She's like, I'm the one who cares about this being taken care of. Why don't I just do it?
Yeah.
I did the same thing whenever my kids were little. I wanted to, like, well, we're going to wake up, both of us. It's like, both of us are going to wake up and we're going to make sure whoever gets up with Dot, it's going to be even. And then I would find myself elbowing him awake, sending him in there, staying awake, listening to how he was doing it to make sure he was doing it right.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
And then I'm going, if I'm going to micromanage and make sure, I just want you to do it so that it's even. And I'm going to micromanage it and ask you to make sure that you did it up to the way that I did it, then why don't I just be the one to do it?
Oh, man. That is something that I have to daily watch myself. And it's not because I'm trying to micromanage or, you know, be the, like, make sure I'm in charge of anything. But I think my personality and just who I have been, like, through growing up and, you know, up until now, it's so natural to me to just that competitive tendency or that need to be right. And not that I'm even seeking it out. It's just that when push comes to shove, I'm like, well, yeah, but I want to be right though. So, but we know that I was right on that, right?
Yeah.
And
yes.
I was listening to a podcast recently and they were talking about how are you doing this for yourself or for your marriage? Like, am I on team me or team us?
Yeah.
And that is something, especially getting in a serious relationship from a young age and then growing into where we're at now, is still a lesson, but it's a little easier to take that now than it was when I was super young, because I just didn't understand the beauty of, oh, me not being right isn't just that I'm wrong and I lose. It's an opportunity to grow into a better person and be a better wife, friend, mother, and so forth.
Well, I think it's countercultural mostly is what it is, because the culture is, you know, serve yourself first.
Right.
You cannot possibly serve anyone until you yourself are served. And I kind of, I'm like, I don't really agree with that. But I had a friend tell me in the early years of my marriage, she said, if you two will approach every day and ask the question, how can I make life easier for them? She's like, your marriage will go so much better. And I think that there's a tendency to make sure everything is fair and everything is even. And just the way that life works, there's a natural ebb and flow that one of you will have more responsibility than the other one at certain times in your marriage. It's not always going to be even and fair. I think about right now, George is like 8 months old and he still wakes up. Dot didn't, but this kid just wakes up in the middle of the night. And Andrew sleeps through it. But I'm also going, George doesn't want Andrew right now. Yeah. He wants his mama. And for right now, Andrew gets better sleep at night than I do. But someday, George is going to want to get Andrew up on the weekend and go do fun stuff. And then it will be daddy time. Yeah. And dad will have more responsibility than I will. And instead of just going, this is not fair. We should each be getting the same amount of sleep and have the same amount of housework and all of this. I just think, what can I do? Or I try to. What can I do to make Andrew's life easier? And I have found that when I treat it like that and serve him, that he in turn serves me. And there's pretty much nothing. Could you not sneeze while I'm talking?
I did it so quietly.
There's pretty much nothing that he wouldn't do for me if I approach it like that. But I think the internal or the natural thing to do is like, I'm going to nag you to get what I want. And I'm like, that doesn't make anyone want to do what you want them to do. You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
That's right.
That's right.
That's beautiful.
So anyway, that is in 10 years of marriage.
That was the wisdom
that
you
was
had
my
to drop.
Wisdom. Yeah, because I'm just like, it's made my life better.
Yeah.
Truly.
No, and I just completely agree with
everything I said.
Every single word. I didn't find one flaw in it. No, I think it's just so true within, and not even just marriage, because maybe there's somebody who is going to listen to this who's like, I'm not even married yet. I don't even know what I'm trying to figure my stuff out or whatever. I just think it's such a good rule of thumb to take and apply in every area of your life. Of maybe it's not about me being fulfilled and me being served and me. Maybe that's why I'm so unhappy is because I'm so focused on myself. And maybe to flip the script and go, how can I give of something today of myself? Like, what can I do? And just 100% in marriage.
If you're constantly looking for ways that friends, family, your job or whatever can be thinking about you, making sure that you're fulfilled and have everything you want, you will be 100% disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
Because people aren't thinking about you. And I'm not saying that that's fine and good, but it's just, that's the way people aren't going to be thinking about you 100% of the time.
Because most of the time we're all kind of thinking about ourselves.
Because we're all thinking about ourselves.
Imagine.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, do what you say you want to be done for you and think of someone else. And it just taking your mind off of your own troubles. It's like, okay, this isn't so bad. I'm not in the depths of despair. It's okay.
It's going to be okay.
It's going to be all right.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think this was a good conversation.
I think it was a good conversation.
I might leave us a good review.
I think I might listen to this one a couple times just to hear what I said.
I think I'm going to give it 5 stars.
Oh, well, we need to wrap up because we're running out of time.
All right.
But I'm going to bring it back to a question.
Okay.
What are you doing to be intentional for someone else this week? Not yourself.
Yeah, not myself. Yeah. I have done something since we talked about the New Year, New Us, and we made a quick 5 list thing. Micah and I also had a quick discussion over friendships and just the whole, like, I feel like, where, you sit and feel sorry for yourself sometimes. And I started a list in my phone of things around like certain friendships. Maybe there's someone that we have something in common that we really like to do, or there's someone that I could make something for, or there's someone that I could just maybe send a text and check in to simplify it, or there's someone that I could pursue getting together over coffee or lunch with. And so I made that list as people came to my mind, and then I'll continue to add to that. And so really I just need to check one of them off. So I think it's looking to my list and going, okay, I got it out. I see that there's people in my life that I'm not all alone. I have people to reach out to. And here are all the ideas of, ask so-and-so to help me make this, or see if I can go to the park with them. So I think I'm going to go ahead and consult my list and check one of those off. But also just creating that was something that was intentional for me that I needed to do. What about you?
Last time we talked, I was going to get together with a friend.
Yes.
We scheduled it, and this week we're doing it. Going to see her new house.
What about me?
I'm just kidding. You don't even know her. And you would hate her.
I am glad. I'm glad that you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad to do something, to get out of the house and go do something and see her.
Let's do something now. Let's go eat a treat.
I would love that.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. And if you enjoyed this conversation, you should join our email list so that you can be the first person to hear what we're talking about each week. And like and subscribe, share with a friend. That is how we get the word out about our new podcast.
Also, we love when you guys are sharing back with us, whether that's through Instagram messages or on email, just to tell us your thoughts on the episodes or anything. We love to join in conversation with you. So feel free to reach out and stay tuned for next week.
It's going to be good. See you guys.
Bye.